Do you ever feel like your bank account is a leaky bucket? You work so hard, money flows in, and almost instantly, it's drained by bills, coffee runs, impulse purchases, and who knows what else. I remember the day I realized how fast my own money was disappearing. I was sipping another latte, feeling anxious about rent and bills, thinking, why am I so stressed when I'm working all the time? That moment felt like a low-key panic attack until I stumbled upon David Bach's idea of becoming an automatic millionaire. It was like a lifeline telling me, you're not doomed to repeat this cycle. There's a better way. Because I believe you're here for the same reason. Let me take you on a quick journey. No heavy charts, no mind-numbing jargon. Just a personal one-on-one conversation about how tiny shifts can spark huge financial change using Bach's ideas. First, we've got a hook, something that might rattle you awake. It's called the Latte Factor. My guess is you already suspect small daily expenses can drain you. But it's staggering how a few bucks here and there become a black hole over a year. I used to grab a coffee every morning, thinking, it's just $4 or $5. But multiply that by 365 days, then throw in a sandwich here, a late-night online splurge there, and suddenly you're looking at thousands. It was an unsettling realization, but also empowering. Because once you notice these small, unnecessary leaks, you can fix them. Now, if you're wondering, how does that help me break free? This is where paying yourself first swoops in. Picture this. The very moment your paycheck hits, you peel off a bit for your future before paying anyone else. Sounds almost too simple, right? But it's a game changer. Even starting at 5% or 10% of your income is enough to build a foundation over time. It's like planting seeds in a secret garden that grows while you're busy living your life. Once I understood this, the pressure in my chest loosened. Instead of praying I'd have something left at the end of the month, I guaranteed it. But how do you stay consistent? By automating your finances. Automation means you don't have to wrestle with your discipline every paycheck. You set up an automatic transfer, like a quiet guardian who moves a chunk of your money into a savings or retirement account. I remember telling myself, I just need to set it and forget it. And it worked. I'd peek at my account each month, amazed that my savings were climbing, even while I slept. You might be thinking, okay, I get the gist. Start now, automate, save. But is it really that big of a deal? Yes, because the clock is ticking. Think of this as a race against time, where time is also your best ally. The sooner you begin, the more powerful compound interest becomes. Investing doesn't have to be complicated. You can just keep it simple, like using a 401k, or save monthly in exchange-traded funds. Consistent contributions, day after day, year after year. It's like rolling a little snowball down a hill and watching it grow into a boulder. Except your boulder is a substantial nest egg that gives you freedom. But let's talk about spending, because this isn't about living like a monk. It's about living below your means. That might sound restrictive, but it's actually liberating. You simply give yourself permission to spend on what you truly value and cut out what you don't. It's like trimming the fat off a steak so you can savor the real flavor. Maybe you still love an occasional latte, but now it's once or twice a week instead of every day. The extra funds, they go right back into paying yourself first. Now, if you've ever dreamt of building real, lasting wealth, Bach suggests owning a home. It's not the only path, but for many, it's a solid strategy. When you own, you're paying into an asset that generally appreciates. Then there's the option to prepay your mortgage. Making an extra payment here and there can save you massive amounts in interest and knock years off the timeline. This isn't always easy, but even an extra $50 or $100 a month can add up. You chip away at the principal, and before you know it, your house becomes a powerful part of your net worth. We can't avoid the reality that debt, especially high-interest debt, can suffocate your progress. Bach suggests a balanced approach. Aggressively tackle those debts while never pausing your savings and investment habits. If you wait until every cent of debt is gone, you might miss years of growth in your investments. So you do both. Make bigger payments on credit cards and still automate your future. It's like running 2 races at once, but it's worthwhile. And since every penny counts, remember to use tax-advantaged accounts whenever possible. If your workplace offers a 401k, or you can open an IRA, those contributions may reduce your taxable income. That's money back in your pocket, silently compounding. It's a no-brainer. If your company matches contributions, it's like a free bonus. Why leave that on the table? Let's talk about emergencies. If the last few years taught us anything, it's that life can flip upside down quickly. An emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, stands between you and financial chaos. Think of it as a shock absorber. When the unexpected hits, you're not forced to dive into debt or raid your retirement. You have a cushion. That cushion grants you peace of mind, which is priceless. Perhaps the stock market feels intimidating. That's where dollar-cost averaging comes in. Instead of trying to time the market and driving yourself insane, you invest a fixed amount at regular intervals. When prices drop, your money snags more shares. When they rise, your existing shares grow in value. Over time, it levels out, and you avoid the emotional frenzy that often causes people to buy high and sell low. Removing that emotional piece helps you stay the course. Budgeting doesn't have to be a dreaded chore. Think of it as budgeting for freedom. You're allocating money to ensure that the things that matter to you, family outings, personal hobbies, maybe a future business, are fully funded. Instead of restricting yourself, it's about proactively designing a life that excites you now while still safeguarding your tomorrow. One of Bach's most touching insights is the idea to give back. It might seem paradoxical, but sharing a little time or money with causes that resonate with you can shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. When I started doing this, it felt counterintuitive, like, wait, I'm trying to save for myself. But giving reminded me that I already had more than enough, which spurred me to keep growing so I could help more. Now, if you suspect you're not cut out for wealth, or it's too late for you, remember that financial independence is a choice. It's made up of dozens, if not hundreds, of small decisions. Skipping a mindless purchase, automating a transfer, picking up a side gig, saying no to debt. These moves accumulate and compound, just like interest, but in your favor. The only real barrier is excuses, so eliminate excuses. Acknowledge that you have control over more of your financial life than you think. Another way to keep yourself pumped is to track your net worth. Net worth might sound like a fancy calculation, but it's just your total assets minus your total debts. Watching that number grow, even slowly, can be super motivating. It's like a personal scoreboard. Every time I see my net worth tick upward, I feel a surge of energy to keep going. Now, here's how we turn this into a real game. Think of it as leveling up. Level 1. Find your Latte Factor and redirect it. Level 2. Pay yourself first with automated savings or investment. Level 3. Attack debts while still building assets. Level 4. Create an emergency fund. Consider home ownership if it fits. And track net worth. Completing each level unlocks another tier of financial confidence. Suddenly, you realize it's not about some big overnight miracle. It's just consistent action, day in and day out. And that leads us to the final advantage: building the life you want on autopilot. Yes, it takes discipline to set it up, but afterward, you'll feel a shift in your mindset from stressed to empowered. So where does this journey end? At consistency. Stay consistent, because that's how ordinary folks become extraordinary success stories. When you stick to these habits, no matter what storms come your way, you build a sturdy financial boat that can weather any gale. You can thrive even when the economy is turbulent because your system is robust. To wrap it all up in 5 seconds, the Automatic Millionaire is about cutting tiny leaks, paying yourself first, and automating every possible step so your money grows steadily without constant supervision. And now, a 5-second call to action. Ready for more? Jump to our next video, Secrets from the Millionaire Next Door, to explore the social side of growing wealth. You won't want to miss it. Click now.